Okay, a very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Daniel, and this research is done together with my co-authors, Mr. Siva, as well as Dr. Darren Yeo, and Professor Peter Mu, which is not listed here. Okay, so today I'll be giving a talk on conservation challenges and actions of this endemic species. So first of all, I'll give a background on freshwater crabs. So freshwater crabs are very different from the typical marine crabs that we know. They spend their entire life cycle in freshwater, and they do not return back to the sea. And they undergo direct development. So this is a typical life stages of a freshwater crab after producing the eggs. The eggs hatches to become crablets, which are miniature size of the adults itself. However, for the marine crabs, the eggs will have to undergo quite a lot of metamorphosis before they become a crablet. So for freshwater crabs, they're also different from the typical marine crabs. They have very large eggs, as you can see over here, and they also tend to have very small brood size. You also can see that the parents or mother crab will protect its youngs, and eventually they will release it back to the stream. And they are ecologically important. They help to break down whatever that's inside the stream. You can see over here a freshwater crab eating a piece of leaf. You also can see over here Johora singaporensis eating another smaller crab. You also can see that it's scavenging on the mold again. So for freshwater crabs, they tend to have very high levels of endemism. They tend to be very localized in certain areas. Unfortunately, many species are at risk due to their limited distribution. So in Singapore, we have a total of 4 species of freshwater crabs, of which one is endemic to Singapore. 3 species are endemic to Singapore: the swamp forest crab, the Singapore freshwater crab, and the Johnson's freshwater crab. For the first 2 species, they are critically endangered by IUCN, listed by IUCN. So for Johora singaporensis, you can see that this species is slightly purplish in color. You can see that it's quite a hairy crab. You can see there's a lot of hairs on its body, throughout its body. So now we'll be showing a short video which was done by some of the students from NUS. Johora singaporensis, this is, as shown in the video, is endemic and found only in Singapore. It's critically endangered and is among one of the most threatened species we have on Earth. It's a very small crab, about 2.5 centimeter carapace length. It's aquatic and is specialized only in hill streams. So in hill streams in Singapore is generally very rare. So in the first place, this crab is not very common, even in the past. So the methods that was used. So this was conducted 6 years ago as part of my final year project. So we tried to determine its presence as all the known localities, and we did night surveys as this species is nocturnal, and we tried to determine its population density. And this is the study area. There's a total of 3 known populations then, one in Bukit Timah, one in Bukit Batok, and one in Bukit Gombak. So these are the results. For the Bukit Batok population, it's present and is found in quite high density, as this is the only species that is found there. So there's limited competition and predation pressures by other species. As for Bukit Gombak, this is also present, but at a slightly lesser density, as another species which we think is a potential predator and a competitor for this Johora singaporensis. And this is Biodiversity maculata, which can grow up to about twice as large as this Johora singaporensis. Okay, so this Bukit Timah population, this was the first known locality of this crab. So it was described by Professor Peter Ng, who is the current director of the Gongqing National History Museum, as well as is the current director of the Tropical Marine Science Institute. So in the middle of 1980s, he found this crab present in Bukit Timah at this particular location. So there was a very interesting story about 6 years ago when I went to this site to look for this crab. So after finding this crab at the other 2 sites, Bukit Batok and Bukit Gombak, I came to this site. So I had a very impression that this species should be very common here since it's a protected area. However, after a few surveys, I can't find this crab here. And I went back and talked to him. Sir, I cannot find this crab. So he came back. So he spoke back saying that cannot be, the crab must be there. You need to search harder. So okay, obediently, I went back again and search again, but I can't find the crab again. So I came back to him and said, sir, I really cannot find the crab. And he gave me a very disapproving look and said, cannot be, the crab must be there. I will go down personally to look for it. And fortunately for me, he wasn't able to find the crab. So this species happened to have disappeared mysteriously from this site. The exact cause of this remains unknown. We suspect some habitat changes which has occurred over time. So there's 2 take-home conservation messages that we can learn from this species. One is that just because a species is found in protected area, it doesn't mean that it's safe, and its survival is ensured. And another good lesson that we can learn is that there's a need of long-term monitoring. So realizing that this crab has somehow disappeared from the protected area, we got a little worried and we started searching for this crab. And in collaboration with National Parks Board and as well as BRS, we managed to find new population of this crab, both within the nature reserve as well as outside nature reserve. And currently we have a very regular monitoring program to make sure that this kind of random stochastic or so-called sui events don't occur again. So, and we also evaluated alternative sites in the hope that eventually we can release this crab to other places. And there's also increased conservation awareness of this crab, as this crab has been featured in several of the local media as well as international media. So currently we have a captive breeding trial, and several individuals are being kept in the NUS. And so far we have observed mating behaviors taking place. So over here we can see that the male crab is below the female crab and they are mating. And recently we also have a freshwater crab conservation roundtable. Over a few days, international experts as well as local experts, together with various governmental agency personnel, we came up together and discussed and initiated a species conservation plan specifically for this species. And these different stakeholders include people from MParks, PUB, NEA, as well as INDEF as well. So together we came up with, we are still formulating this species conservation plan, which will eventually be very helpful for us to conserve this species. And in the near future, we hope that there will be more studies of this species. So there's some plans to do some population genetics of this particular crab, as we already know that Singapore is heavily urbanized. The different roads are cutting off forests to various fragments, and the populations of the crabs are like isolated. So there's a need to find out about its population genetics in order to improve its genetic makeup of the different populations if there's a need. And we also will hope to improve site suitability, as this crab prefers a very rocky environment, and we hope that we can change the existing habitat to be more suitable for the species, so that its population as well as population density will increase. And there's also plans to do some translocation, as it's very dangerous to have all this species if you only within 3 or 4 streams. We hope that by translocating a few individuals, eventually they will be established at other streams, so that in the future the total population will increase as well. And in the near future, we will be doing a captive breeding program in the BRS, so that eventually, after breeding subsequent generations of this crab, we will be able to release this crab back to the wild again. So currently, we are kind of cautiously optimistic that this species can be saved, and hopefully in the near future, we can remove it from the top list. So this is the acknowledgement, and I would just like to thank Xing Rui and Zilin for the video that we had just seen just now. Thank you for your time.